So it's got the water pump in it.
Yeah, so you have the main freshwater pump, this one, that we saw already.
Yep.
So as I said to Paul, Beth, this one's, if you empty completely the tank on port side, you will have some air in the system, obviously. So you will have some air in the pipe. So you need first to fill again the water tank with the water maker or with the dock, okay? And then you switch back on the pump here, and you will need to open this little screw here, always by hand. Don't use an Allen key here, otherwise you can break the screw.
Yeah.
Always by hand, just a little screw here, switch on the pump, pull a little bit of water from there, and then the air should be coming out of the pump. Okay.
And something's beeping out there. Is that like?
Sorry?
Is something beeping?
Yeah, that's probably Oscar, which is seeing nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
And so the light too, Beth?
Yeah. So when you have the blue lights like this, it means the pump is still running. Now it's just switched off, and it's blinking red. So I mean it's good to go. I mean it's just waiting for pressure. Okay.
So blinking green is good, Beth.
Blinking green is good.
Blinking red is bad, right?
Blinking red is bad. Exactly. Maybe
If it was blinking red, what would you do?
So as I said, maybe I just have a look if there is nothing in front of us. Because Oscar is looking. At the inlet, so it's a small filter that you need sometimes to wash. You just unscrew here and you can just wash the filter.
How often do you do that?
Actually, I never done it myself, and you don't. I mean, if you see from there that it's really dirty, you can do it. But you should never use it.
Okay.
And you have a little valve here to switch off the inlet. So that's the inlet of the pump, and that's the outlet. Okay. And hard to see from there, but all the little valves are here. Right there. I don't know if you can see them. Yes.
Okay.
I can show you here. So you have the fresh water, the cold water, and the hot water from there. Okay. And it's all written. So you can close and open every equipment of the boat.
Is this anything or just?
It's just for the hot water circuit to supplying every hot water, like the shower, the tap, sorry.
So the hot water heater is under our bed. That's what you call the boiler?
Yeah, that's the boiler. Oh yeah. I will show you this one. And just to show you now how the grey water is working, you can just use a bit of water. So when you use the water like this, it's filling this pipe here, this tank. Obviously this pump is switching on. This one is being filled, and that's the pump. That's the tank I was telling you for the grey water. When it's full, now we can hear. Now we can hear this pump turning, and this pump is emptying this tank. Okay. You can
That's what you hear when you're in the shower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that also means if you don't hear it when you're taking a shower,
It's not working.
that means there is a problem. And if it's not working, it will put into pressure everywhere. It will put into pressure all the grey water circuit, so it can be leaking from there, or it can also going back to the shower.
So the ones that have no lights on just means they're not set up?
Yeah, exactly. For example, it's in French. It's terrible, I did in French. But for example, this one is the bilge pump, the port side bilge pump. So if I switching on, hard to hear, but it's really at the back of us. You can hear the bilge pump turning, and that's the black water pump. You hear it switching on. Okay.
Okay.
So every equipment out there. So here you have the black water pump, bilge pump. You have the front scan, which was there. Do you remember the front scanner?
Yeah.
So this one This one is a pump for the heating, for the diesel heating. So this one is rarely on.
Okay.
For diesel. So this one you have ECL mean lights, and you have one like this on each blocks.
Yeah.
And this one is switching on this little black box, which is the shaper block with this block.
Yeah.
And so when you switch on or off from here, it's going from there, and then from there it's connected to every light, and it's supplying every light. Okay.
So I wonder if we should.
Because those are wireless.
So if you
Bluetooth.
switch off this one, then you will lose every light in this zone.
In this zone. Okay.
In this zone.
So it's in this basically this.
So basically, when you switch on lights on equipment at the Windows screen, it switch on every block number 1 on every block 8 in the boat.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have one more block 8. So that's number 7. On the number 7, you have still the lights for the way here. You have the radar, the gas oil pump for transferring diesel. So that's the Feuderhun is the engine lights when you are under engine. You know, the white lights. Steaming light.
Are they on right now? The steaming lights?
Yeah, it was on from actually the night. So I'm switching off. Also the nav light, I switch it off. The compass, also nav light. So you remember on your boat you have a nav light at the front and a nav light at the mast. You have two nav lights. Then you have the big lights for the deck, the deck light. So mostly all the lights from here. Okay. Then what else is interesting here is that you have some MPPT over there. If you want to have a look, the little blue box.
Yep.
Really on top. And on those ones it should be written the zone. So that's zone 1 and 2 and zone 4 and 5. Those are the 2 MPPT for those zones.
So what would we ever do with those?
You should not have to. You should just know where is it.
Okay.
If some days you need to change it if it breaks.
Okay.
But, usually you don't. And as I showed Beth this morning, you can connect to those MPPT through the. I will show you that through the application of Victron. You can connect to the MPPT. Okay. And then so that's the 2 distributor. So those are the distributor. They look the same than the BMS. The BMS looks exactly the same. It will just be written here MV Master LV. Okay, so it's just the 2 difference. So distributor is only like it says, a distributor for the 24 volts. So those 2 are for the 24 volts battery, and they are just distributing all the electricity to every equipment. And inside those, you have some fuses for every equipment. Okay.
So those are the fuses that you might have to reset?
No, in there it's physical fuses. I will show you how they look.
Okay.
It's mega fuses, so it's fuses like this.
Okay.
And yeah, that's physical fuses. There also you have physical fuses for some other equipment. For example, you have some fuses for the.
It's also in French?
It's also in French, yeah. So you have fuses for the. So you have fuses for the bilge pump, because the manual bilge pump is switching on from the screen. So the fuse, you can reset the fuse from the box, but the automatic system of the bilge pump is going through this fuse. So that means here, if you remove there, you have physical fuse like this that you can change. For example, if the automatic mode is stuck for like 2 or 3 days, the fuse can blow.
Okay.
And you will need to change the fuse, and it's there. Okay.
Okay.
And we're gonna note it to have it in English also. Okay. And then nothing more to say. This is the same thing for the lights. You have a small antenna here. It's a GPS antenna. That's the GPS antenna for the Garmin.
For the
Garmin.
Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty all here.
You know, I think I saw it. Maybe I was trying to remember where I saw it. Maybe it was on the TV set. I saw it somewhere on. It was
Okay.
somewhere.
Well, it should be somewhere. We can ask.
We need to link it to the Predict Wind app on the.
Yeah, I think we can. But I never done it myself, and I think it's one of the first boats with this data hub. Another box. There you have a fan, the autopilot, the heating, the air conditioning, the bilge pump for the engine room, and the fan for the engine room also. You have a little converter 2412, so that's this one. Okay, I didn't know that. So that's a little converter for the autopilot, for the 12 volts, because the autopilot has some little controller in 12 volts, so that there's a small transfer.
Okay.
And also you have the supply for the music, the hi-fi. Hi-fi, hi-fi?
Yeah.
Okay, so those two are 24 to 12 volts exchanger. Oh, this one is for the hi-fi.
For the what?
For the music, for the hi-fi.
Music. Okay.
And this one is for the autopilot.
Okay.
Okay, so the BMS, as I said, is the MG Master LV, so that's this one. And you have another distributor on the right. Actually, the distributor here, I don't remember which equipment is on this one, but it's another equipment. And so inside the Master LV, you have also other fuses.
Right.
And it's connected directly to the batteries. You see on the left, on the bottom left, you see batteries.
Uh-huh.
So you have two pair of wires which are going to the 48 volt batteries.
Yeah.
And actually the MG Master LV is just, it's not just this, but it's a relay with a big switch. So when you switch on the boat at the button at the Garmin, it will close the relay and make the contact between the batteries and the charger and load.
Okay.
And basically just under, so you need to have a look under the BMS, you have a little square green button which is right in the middle of the BMS, maybe just under the LED, the LED. Yeah. And this is so don't touch it right now, otherwise you're gonna have trouble. But can you have a look at the
Under here?
button? You can feel it with your hand.
There's a blue button.
So it's a green. It should be a square green button.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it, yeah?
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the switch for the 48 volt battery banks of port side. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to switch off the port side battery bank, you can do it from here.
So if I need to switch it off, I would push that button.
And basically, what happened just before with the Genset, you know, the Genset charged
Right.
too much the batteries.
Oh, that's what you did?
Yeah. So that's what I did. The BMS was beeping 3 times.
And this was beeping?
Yeah. So actually, I will show you the manual of the BMS, but on the manual you have different LED code.
Yeah.
When it's beeping 3 times, it means that there is over voltage.
Okay.
So the Genset was charging too much the batteries. So the BMS went to over voltage and switched off the load and the batteries.
Okay.
So that it protects the batteries like this. Okay. So I just basically switched off the Genset,
Shut it off. Okay.
switched back on the BMS.
And you did that by pushing the green button once.
I did that with pushing the button.
Okay.
So you just need to remain a little push
Yeah.
on the button, and it will flash a little bit, and then you will hear the relay clack.
Okay.
Doing a big clack.
Yeah.
And then it will switch back on. Then I push the engine back.
Okay.
It's discharging the battery, so it was back to normal.
So on this side, why would you have to reset this one on this side?
Oh, you can have the same situation on this side.
You can?
You can
Okay.
have over voltage. It happened once on another boat that it's hard to explain this, but they had all the kind of issue that you need to switch on and off the BMS.
Okay.
So it can happen that you have to come here.
What are those plugs right there?
The blocks for the 220.
Uh-huh.
So that's for the boiler, the water heater.
Water here?
Yeah.
And this is
And it's for starting.
Starlink.
I just don't remember what is it exactly.
And what is this right here?
There, that's for the air conditioning.
Okay.
That's a little block for the air
Is there
conditioning.
fuses underneath? What's underneath?
No, there's no fuses
No
inside
fuses.
this one. No, I don't think so.
It's just a relay.
Yeah, it's just a relay for controlling the air conditioning. You have the sensor, which is running here, I guess. There. Yeah, here there's a small
Oh yeah.
temperature sensor for knowing the temperature in the boat.
And there's Starlink there too.
Okay. From the 48 volts battery. Obviously, this battery is also charged from the genset itself. So when the genset is running, it will charge the battery, the 12 volt batteries. And then you have the 3 MPPT for the solar. So we saw already 2 of them there on both sides. It was 4 and 5 and 1 and 2, I guess, I think. And zone 3 should be on starboard in the bathroom. Yeah, we're gonna have a look at it. So in the bathroom we should have this one and also this one. So we're gonna have a look at both and see if we can see something wrong on this one. Okay?
Okay.
So the code is always the same. It's 66. Can do it. 66140, which is the postcode of Canyon and a zero more. We missed just 10.
Connection failed.
So that's the postcode of
Canyon plus 10.
plus 10. Okay.
So
You
2
can-
zeros.
Yeah, exactly. You can change the password if you like. Okay, and then this one we can see. This one is the
48 to
that's
12
the
volt.
that's the one which is charging the genset.
Right.
So we can see right now it's not recharging because the genset has run for a long time during the night. So the 12 volt should be charged. So right now it's not really running. It's in floating mode. So remember floats. So I didn't explain you that. On the lithium battery you have three modes. It's the same as here. You have bulk, absorption, and float. So bulk means it's charging at full charge. So it's from 0 to 80% of charge. It will be in bulk mode, and starting from 80%, it will go through absorption. So that means they are reducing the charge. We are reducing the charging of the. For example, that's the charger of the 48 volt battery. If you are at the dock, if the 48 volts is like 20%, you charge at the dock, it will go in bulk, so it will go fully charged, full charge at 3-4 kilo, and at 80-85% it will go through absorption, and it will reduce the level of charging, so it will go to 1 or 2 kilo, and it will reduce until the floating tension, which is for the 48 volts, it's around 56-57 volts, and at the floating tension it will stop and it will remain on floating. So floating means if you are discharging the battery, it will charge a little bit more, so it's floating.
Just as needed.
Yeah, exactly. It's just floating in full.
Like top it off.
Exactly. So that's for the Quattro. So when you are at the dock, you should have
Bulk.
main on and bulk. So that means you're charging.
Okay.
And when you're full in battery, you will have main on and float. And right now, because we are just on the inverter is on.
What is charger only?
So charger only is useful when you are at the dock and you just want to use the power from the shore. You don't want to use the 48 volts battery.
Oh, okay. So when you plug in, you would just do that.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to. You can just remain on, plug in, and it will take the tension from the dock. And if you need more, if you have the air conditioning, for example, if you need more than the dock is giving you, it will also take in the battery.
Okay. And then the inverter. So obviously the inverter's on overload, as if it's got too much.
Exactly.
To it.
So you will have some indication if there is any mistake, any issue. You will have overload, low battery, and issue of temperature.
So if any of those come on, what would you do?
If it's overload, you will have to understand why the battery is overloaded. maybe the dock is giving too much, maybe the genset was giving too much. Actually, when we had the problem with the genset, it was an overload here.
The sensor?
Yeah. And low battery, well, you know what's it.
Yeah.
And temperature,
Too hot.
it never happened, but it can happen if you have a problem on the battery bank.
Okay.
So the overload thing, you find out what it is, and then you would just disconnect it.
So I just switched off the genset, and then I readjust some setting in the genset, but it seems that it's not good enough now. So we're gonna try to find the correct settings.
Okay.
But yeah.
How do you switch off the genset?
Yeah, so that's the so if you remember the genset, you can switch it on from here,
Yeah.
from the Windows screen here, from there or from there, and you can switch off from there also.
Okay.
That's how I switched up.
And you can also do it from here. So regarding the genset, maybe we can have a look now at this panel. That's the Fisher Panda panel for the genset. You have on top the number of hours of the genset. So currently is 35 hours. Okay. Then if you go down, you have more information. You have the tension of the 48-volt battery. You have the number of amps which is going into the battery, number of kilowatts, temperature of the three cable which are going out of the genset, the frequency, the RPM, the battery, the 12-volt battery, the starting battery. So you have the level of the starting battery, the temperature we were checking yesterday. So you see it's still hot. It's off since 1 hour now, so it's still a bit hot, but it's fine. 77.
When is it too hot?
Too hot. So for example, this is this sensor was really in the middle of the genset, so it's in the oil actually. Too hot will be more than 90-95. So currently it's 77.
Okay.
The G, this one I don't remember where is exactly the sensor, but too hot is more than 95-100.
Okay.
And the exhaust, so that's the temperature of the exhaust. Same thing, the exhaust should not go over 85, 90.
And that's Celsius.
Sorry?
That's Celsius. That's really hot.
Yeah, that's Celsius, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty hot. So it's always like this. And then if you go there, you have a menu. So if you click on start and stop there. So if you click on start and stop here, it will switch on the genset. And from there, it will just go into a menu where you have some different things. English. Okay, English is better. So you have the brightness, the contrast. You can have different settings here. If you need to do this, if someone needs to do the service, they will need to go through this page where you need to enter the service code. So I'm not going to give you the service code because you should not have to go inside. But if someone needs to do the service, you need to go inside to set the service on the genset. You know what I mean? Then I need to back. And if you go in generator, you have more settings, which I advise you do not change.
Okay.
One thing which is important to know here is the auto start. So that's the first settings, auto start. Maybe sometimes you will need to go through this one because this is for switching on or off the auto start mode of the genset. And currently it's off. So you need to go in auto start, turn on, off, start. And this one needs to be on. And that will mean, for example, so when you're on, oh, well, it's gonna start right now. It's gonna start because I guess we are
At a certain level of battery.
no, actually because we are doing a lot of engine. 6 plus 7 is 13, 14. So at 14 kilowatt, it starts by itself. Okay.
And so you decide when it comes on. So you said over 10 kilowatts, is that what you said?
Oh, it's over 14 roughly.
Over 14? Okay.
Yeah, around. So it starts by itself because the auto start is on.
So if you have the engines on 5, Then
Sorry?
if
Yeah,
you-
engine on 5, it
then
will not start.
It won't start.
And if you don't want the genset to start, you can just, so I'm going
Go
to
back
switch.
and say off.
You can say off to the auto start,
Yeah.
but what is more practical is to just switch off the panel here. If you switch off the panel here, it will just switch off the genset, so it will not start.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
I do it a bit
No, that's good.
my way, but and so when you switch off the genset from here or from the window screen, it's important to wait the cooling down phase, which is always 5 minutes. It's important to wait for this cooling down phase, because otherwise you can have actually when the genset is on, it's charging at 16 kilowatts. So when you click on start, it will put to 0 the number of charging, but the cooling system will still turn. So the genset will be running with the cooling system, but without charging. So it will really cooling down for like 5 minutes, and it's important to respect this phase. Otherwise, you can have some trouble with the sensor, with the everything.
So what does that mean practically? So when you shut it off, you have to.
You did it, I think, this night, right?
Uh-huh.
You just click on start or click there,
Yeah.
and you just wait 5
wait
minutes.
for
Wait
to go
before
on.
you do
So, and
anything.
it switch off by
Okay.
itself.
Okay.
If you need to do an emergency switch off, you can click and click a second time to switch it off
Okay.
quickly.
So, so the genset, when will it automatically shut itself off? So it comes on at 14 and it goes off when?
So it should go off if you click on charge. It should go off when the battery are full.
Okay.
When the starboard battery is full, and that's the only way it can switch off by itself. But if you click on the other one, which is range, it will charge at 16 kilowatts in bulk, and when the battery is full, it will go to absorption, so it will reduce the charge, and it will go to floating when the battery are full. That's currently the issue with the genset, is that the setting of absorption and floating voltage is not really perfect, so that's why we get to
You
over
have the
voltage.
overcharge.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need to have a really good setting of those tension.